been celebrated as a true success story. What do you think sets you apart as a leader in technology?
I think it's actually the fact that I understand what is my role as a leader, as in what is expected from me towards my colleagues, my team members, my management, and the organization. Because although leadership is universal, it also needs to be flexible. And a good leader needs to understand the uniqueness of the organization as soon as they join it and what is expected from them. And then adjust their leadership style accordingly. So for me, for example, my ultimate role is to prepare the people that I work with for their next job, be it inside or outside the organization. And different people need different things from you at different times in different organizations, and you need to be able to identify that need early on and then work towards satisfying it. There's also the individual uniqueness of the team members and needing to adjust also your leadership style accordingly within the same team. And this is basically where my focus is as a leader. First, of understanding and identifying what my role is and what is expected from me, and then mostly working with individuals within the team based on their specific individual needs.
Absolutely. Now, integrity in the workplace is difficult to frame. So how do you encourage your team to embrace and implement it?
When understood, embracing integrity is actually very simple. For me, integrity is actually about showing up and giving it your best every single time. And doing this through mostly honest relationships and actions. Because integrity is not a skill, it's actually a behavior. Right? And I make sure that I set the tone when it comes to this behavior very early on. So the very first meeting that I have with my team members, I make it clear that from me, when it comes to integrity, you should expect the fact that I'm going to do my best to help you do a great job. This is my job. My job is to help you do a great job. Your job is to show up and give it your best. Everything else in between is skills that can be taught throughout the way. And there's a little caveat here when I say show up and give it your best every single time. That takes into consideration the capacity of individuals as well. Because the underlying value of integrity is honesty, transparency, and empathy as well. And that includes being honest and empathetic towards yourself, towards your mental health, towards your physical health. And so if your capacity today is 20%, show up and give it 20%. To me, that's integrity, basically. And even in my role, individual role in the companies, and specifically CEQUENS, we see integrity as a core value. We strongly believe that we cannot achieve anything if we don't do it with full integrity. And we lead by example, right? As I mentioned, the transparency, the honesty about giving it your best every single time, being very honest in your communication, being very transparent in your communication and the expectations of the job and of your team members.
How do you empower your team to deliver?
Empowerment specifically I think is a very misused and abused term in leadership and management, mostly because it's misunderstood. And organizations and leaders who think that they operate through empowerment, with empowerment, and in empowerment don't really do so. Because in the definition of the word empowerment, it's giving people the power and the freedom to take their own decisions. However, empowerment is actually an accidental value. It's considered an accidental value, meaning that you don't actively promote it. It builds up through time, right? And it's actually the result of other behaviors and other actions and other values that need to take place until you reach a state of empowerment. And this is where I focus, actually. With empowerment, there's a shift of ownership, right? When you empower someone, you're automatically shifting the ownership of that specific task or project to them. So there's an automatic shift of what? Of accountability as well. And you cannot hold someone accountable if you don't give them the tools to succeed. You'll be just setting them up for failure. So empowerment is actually the result of investing in your team in terms of knowledge sharing, developing their skills, soft skills, providing the infrastructure for them to do their job, giving them the budget that is required, and most importantly, trust, your trust. Or else it becomes masked empowerment, where I tell you that you're empowered, but I'm still breathing over your neck and basically micromanaging your every task and every action. So empowerment is, to me, or the way I kind of practice empowerment is by giving my team the tools they need to reach a state of empowerment. And then the rest is on them, basically.
Absolutely. Now, how do you balance between leading creatively and leading with impact?
So impact, if I think about impact is the result of creative collaboration, right? So leading creatively creates impact, which is basically achieving results that go beyond the standard business objectives. And the only reason you can do this, or the only way you can do this as a leader, is by nurturing or fostering a culture of teamwork, collaboration, and creative thinking and innovation. Take, for example, tech and tech marketing. It's an extremely fast-paced environment. Decisions have to be made quite quickly, and they need to be results-oriented. That's what leading with impact is about, is to be result-oriented and then work towards these results. Now, because of the change, leading creatively actually helps you navigate this change. So if you see to me, they're rather than you have to find the balance, there's two sides of the same coin. They need to coexist together. To achieve impact, you need to have this creative, collaborative culture. And as a result of collaborative and creative culture, you have that long-lasting impact, both internally and externally.
Absolutely. Now, diversity in the workplace is a popular term. How have you translated it into an actual practice at CEQUENS and beyond? I am personally very, very conscious about diversity because I have seen what the lack or absence of diversity in the workplace does to an organization, and I've also seen the impact of a diverse culture on business growth. So when building a team or scaling a team, diversity and I try to make sure that I build a team that is both diverse and versatile. And this, by the way, goes beyond the ratio of men to women. Because for the longest time, diversity was all about the percentage of female to male team members, right? And it has been the reason because of the underrepresentation of women in tech and women in leadership positions in general. But this is being addressed not just on a regional level, but on a global level. Diversity is more about bringing people from different backgrounds, cultural, social, technical, and making sure that this is basically the DNA of the culture that you have, a diverse culture. In CEQUENS specifically, since I joined, when I first joined, our marketing team was mostly based in Cairo, and all the team members more or less came from the same cultural background and social background. And it was very important for us to actually diversify this as much as possible. So in the past 6 months, I'd say we tripled the size of the team, making sure that we have team members not just from outside the organization, outside the region, but also from outside the industry, because they bring in a fresh look into things, a different perspective. Today we have people based in Bosnia, Jordan, UAE, India, and very soon KSA. So you see this, and this has been fueling basically everything that I've just mentioned: the creative thinking, the collaborative thinking, the empowerment of the team, the leading as per the requirements of the job, basically. Yeah, thank you. Those are the questions.
Perfect. Thank you.